So the thing I wanted to find out, I don't know, would Scotty Scheffler have won the FedEx if it was how it used to be?
In the old format?
In the old format, yeah.
Good question.
Because I think he might have.
Luckily, we've already done the research.
Have we done the research?
So before we get to the result, let's just talk through what the changes were. So effective in 2025, the Tour Championship is a 72-hole event. Stroke play, all the players at the tournament starting on even par. But previously, the leader in the FedEx Cup standings would have started 10 under and had a 2-shot lead on the guy in second, which is what happened last year. And for players of that level, having a 2-shot lead is basically, and they're the best player of the year, to get the 2-shot lead is kind of handing them the trophy.
Absolutely.
Which didn't really make sense. So they're all starting at the same level, which is how it should be. And the best performer over the course of the 4 rounds at the Tour Championship wins the FedEx Cup. Perfect. Mm-hmm. They adjusted the course setup. So the fan committee, they have a thing. Oh, what's the fan committee called? I suppose. Not the Player Advisory Council.
The PGA Tour Rules Committee?
No, there was a specific name I found. Anyway, they asked the fans what they wanted to see. And the fans said they wanted to see the winning score closer to par. Mm-hmm. They didn't want people shooting 20, 30, 40, 50 under over the course of the weekend. So they tried to make the course in a way that would provide more risk and reward, that would heighten drama, make the competition more fierce, so that you're rewarding fans at the event. Not only are they seeing the best 30 players from the year, they're also seeing them compete really hard to try and win. Great. And they wanted it to be the toughest tournament to qualify for. So it's already the most elite field in golf. The Tour Championship field size remaining at 30 players. And they're trying to, basically what they're trying to do is raise the stakes. They're trying to make it more interesting. They're trying to make it more exciting, which I think they did. Mm-hmm. I really liked the fact that they started all from the same point. I really like the fact that they didn't gift the best player from the year the tournament. So let's go through and look at what would have happened if they had played it in the old format. If Scheffler had had a 2-shot lead going into the tournament, what would have happened? And here's the result. The top 5 would have looked like this. Patrick Cantlay, who finished T2, would have finished T4.
Okay.
Cameron Young would have finished T4.
Okay.
Russell Henley would have finished in 3rd.
Okay, yep.
Scotty Scheffler would have won the event.
Wow, okay.
Tommy Fleetwood would have finished in 2nd.
Interesting.
Under the old format.
So he got, what was it? So yeah, so I was saying there, so Scotty was 24 under, Tommy was 23 under, so it was a shot in it. Wow, okay. Well, I'm sure Scotty Scheffler is sat at home looking at that leaderboard, wondering why the hell, the greatest rule change ever in golf, according to Tommy Fleetwood, and the worst, according to Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, shout out Taco Golf for the rule change.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Because obviously this has been, a sticking point, a talking point for a few years now of how they do this, because of how long a season it is and how, stretched out you can gain your points and all this kind of stuff, for it to obviously then just come down to one tournament. And theoretically, the person who finished 30th in the standings can win the FedEx Cup. Mm-hmm. The kind of fan in me enjoyed this in a sense that you just knew everyone was starting off and you don't almost go into the tournament going, well, Scotty Scheffler's going to probably win it, isn't he? So it engaged my interest back into the tournament, because I probably wouldn't have watched as much if he was at the top all the time. You know what's going to happen. Rory did a press conference before the event, and he kind of spoke about how the players have had conversations, and going forward it might change and it might go to something different. One of the things that I know they had spoken about was creating a match play.
Ooh.
Now, I can see the pros and cons. I can understand why you would want it. To me, it just feels a bit weird to have this event and the FedEx standings be cumulative, cumulative throughout the year on stroke play, and then the thing that decides it is match play. It feels a bit weird to me that they would kind of go against that, but I can also see the benefits of maybe bracketing it, so 30th and first plays each other and 29th and, doing it so it was a closing thing. The only thing then you kind of could tempt to happen is in the ideal world, and I guess this is what they had with the match play in Texas with the WGC, but if you have a Rory versus Scotty final, you have created the perfect dynamic in that everyone's going to want to watch this one-on-one event. I get that. On the other flip side of it, if by all intents and purposes, Ben Griffin, maybe Ben Griffin's not a bad example, but like I don't know, Sung Jae Im had a really great week alongside, on the other side of the draw, was a Akshay Bhatia, and you've got a Im Bhatia final. Is the intrigue, is the interest as strong as it would be? Like, obviously, some people are going to be, and the build up to that might have been interesting, and he might have had to have knocked off Scotty to get there and things like that. But do the tour think that creating that is the best way of representing the best player on the tour? I don't know. I can see the benefits. I'm kind of playing a little bit devil's advocate in this, but it's certainly something they could look at doing for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like qualify. And I know you hate it when we do a football analogy, but it's like qualifying for the playoffs in League One or Championship or whatever, and then you just have to beat a certain amount of teams in a cup-type competition to get yourself through.
Football, but you saw it with the new Champions League format
so
now.
The new Champions
you
League
can be
format.
22nd, and then you go into a playoff section. You don't get automatically through, but you still stay in it despite probably maybe winning one game of football.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one, isn't it? Then I don't think it's hard because they're never going to get it right for everyone. Like no one's going to be happy about it, and someone is going to lose. And in this regard, to be honest with you, I think the only real loser probably is Scotty, because he should have won. The only person that loses out is the person who's in first. Everyone else is kind of It's
tricky because you want to be rewarded for having played the best for the entire year.
Yeah.
Which you do by gaining entry. If you're in the top 30, you get into the tournament. You get the opportunity to go and win the thing, which is great. The difference is that if you worked really hard to get right to the top, and then just before the tournament kicks off, they level the playing field and they say, oh, by the way, you and the guy who came 30th, Sepp Stracker, or was it, who got in right at the end?
Yeah, Akshay was 30th.
Akshay was 30th. You and him are now on level footing, even though you've played much better than him over the course of the year.
Yeah, I think maybe it's more just a mentality of what you look at it as, because if you see it as just as you said, to get the opportunity to play for the FedEx Cup, to win the most amount of money you can, you just need to get top 30.
Yeah.
It's not about the fact of
save yourself.
Yeah, you don't need to be first.
Just get good enough to get in.
But I guess,
and then when you get there, finally play your best golf.
And I guess that's obviously then it does come down on if you just play your best golf that week, which obviously Tommy Fleetwood has done. But of course, he was very consistent throughout the year. But again, if you look at it as if there is a standings and the person in first needs to benefit from that, then that event in itself isn't what the whole race to the FedEx Cup is about, really, because it's about getting in to play in it, not necessarily getting as high as you possibly need to get the starting. Because I mean, if you did it in kind of a percentage basis, or you worked out the gaps between people points related, Scotty would probably have had an 8-shot lead on FedEx points. If you really wanted to work out the individual stuff,
you start the amount under par of tournaments you've won.
Yeah, literally, and he'd be 37 under or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I say, if you change the mind, because it just clicks. If you change the mindset of it, of just saying it's not about being at the top to get into it. It's more about you just need to get into the top 30, and that pool of 30 players, then you have the chance. Then it's okay, fair enough. Scotty's played best throughout the year. It less becomes more about a race to the FedEx Cup in terms of getting to the top. It's more about a race to getting to play for the FedEx Cup, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I wonder if they should hand out 2 trophies. They should hand out a cumulative over the course of the season.
I think that's a good way.
You won the league.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
You're the champions. And also, the person who wins the tournament should also get a trophy.
I think you could do that as the cumulative one is the FedEx Cup.
Yes.
That's the one that you've played the best throughout the year.
Yeah.
You've got the most points. You deserve the cup. And then the event is the Tour Championship,
Yes.
and you have the Tour Championship.
So Tommy would have
trophy.
won the Tour Championship, and Scheffler would have been rewarded
Yes.
by being given the FedEx Cup
Yes.
for having played the best all year.
That's. I think that could be a good way of going about it.
Come on, guys.
I guess it's because I guess that's a bit like how the DP World Tour do it, really.
Yeah,
Because obviously you have the final in Dubai, you have the winner of the Dubai event, and then you also have the winner of the race to Dubai.
Rory.
Yeah, usually, but yeah. But no, that's definitely. I think that's probably one way they should look at doing it.
Yeah, potentially.
Because I don't think they need to change much. Because I think it's good that it is just a one-off event and anyone can win it.
Yeah, and at the same course every year. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
Just give them a big old staff like they do.
God, good old staff.